Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Deer Park Coaches Show, Week 3. He's Coach Tucker Berger. I am Jake Snyder. Deer Park moves to 2-0 after a 40-20 win over Schroeder High School. Coach Berger, Tuck, 2-0 is 2-0.
Yes, sir. Good. Yes, sir. And I think that's, the biggest thing is we've talked for a while this year about how long it's been since Deer Park's been 2-0, 3-0. And we really harp on that. But with that, we've done a lot about talking about, the praise we're receiving and how to handle it. I mean, we know that there are some people out there that don't want us to be as successful as we are. And, there's some people here that don't want us to win and, are kind of hoping that we fall off at some point. But I think the biggest thing that we've been really pressing is that everyone we need's in that locker room. I mean, the coaches are all in belief of what we can do and know what we can do. All the players are rallying together about what we can do. I think if we can stay on that, then we're going to keep winning games. Once we start falling into the hype and, all the accolades that we're receiving each week and, all the player awards and spotlights we're winning each week, I think once you start to dip into that, that's when things kind of start falling off. But, so far they've really done a great job of keeping their head on and keeping the focus because we know we got some big games coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, long way to go here. 8 games left. But what I really like about these 2 games is the first game, it was kind of the offense that carried the load, and we talked about it. And then defense, the score didn't tell the whole story of the defense, but it was the offense who really won that game for you. This game, I think it's the defense that won the game for you. When you look at the turnovers, 8 total turnovers in the game, the pass deflections, the sacks, 2 touchdowns, obviously a huge deal. The offense had their moments in this game as well, and I think we did a lot of things great offensively. But 2 games, 2 sides of the ball, really winning that game for you.
Yeah, and I think we're doing a great job of just balancing each other out. I said on that show before Schroeder that it was going to be a challenge and that we had really challenged the defense to play well because we knew what they were going to bring offensively. Anyone that watched that game saw that their quarterback, he might be one of the quickest quarterbacks in the city.
No doubt.
And we had him running all over all night, which, that just gave us that added advantage. And when he put the ball up, we made plays on it, and we came down with it. But I think that just shows signs of a good football team when you can, you don't have to win games the same way each week.
Right.
On offense, we throw for a bunch of yards the first week, and then this week we come out and run for 300 yards. And defense leads you one week, offense leads you the next week. So I think we're starting to kind of grow into that mindset that we can win in a bunch of different ways. And really, if you watch the game, I think touching on it, we're playing with a type of edge and a little physicality that I really haven't seen us play with in my 6 years here. So I think that's just really huge for our development and us moving forward is if we can keep that edge and just keep playing physical because, it just wears on teams for 4 quarters.
Edge and physicality are 2 fantastic words right here as we get into the trend, into some film watching.
Oh, yeah.
Because where I want to start today is a kid who we saw for the first time on Friday night, Seth Saki.
Yep.
He's a senior. He comes in, and he's a huge kid, obviously. He looks great in pads. But you don't know what you're going to get until you know what you're going to get. 6 tackles, forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks.
Yeah.
This kid was all over the place on Friday night.
Yeah. And, you watch the game, a lot of people don't know that's really his first game he's ever played. He's really been practicing for a little bit over a month. And I think the thing that stuck out to me and a bunch of coaches was just the motor. You look at him, it's not real often you see a 6'7" kid running sideline to sideline, chasing people down. But that's just the effort you get with him. He elevates everybody on the defense just by being out there, but also by the energy he plays with. The guys are feeding off of that. And if you saw the game and you watch the game, you can see it as we go. Cepha starts making more and more plays, the defense starts getting more comfortable, the energy starts rising, and then other people start picking up and making plays. And I think that's just huge for us moving forward into the CHL.
Well, let's jump into it and let's look at some of this stuff that he did. The first one's really early in this game, first quarter, 7:48 on the clock. And he's going to blow this play up, force a fumble. He really just does so much on this play. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, and I mean, he gets off the ball quick, sheds that block, and, he's just quick enough to get there on the jet. And, he brings that speed and that size and that strength that, he gets a hand on the guy and he's able to punch that ball out and we recover it and set ourselves up for a good field position when the offense takes over. He does a really good job of seeing that tackle is trying to reach him, so he shoots through that center of his chest and keeps that outside arm free, and then he rips off and goes and makes the play. I mean, that's how you teach it. So him just having that reaction and being able to make that play really sets you up to make big things happen like that like right there when, he forced the fumble, Nick recovers it, and he takes it into plus territory for us.
Yeah, for sure. The next one we're going to look at, and these ones when you're on the negative side of the field are so big to create these key moments in a game. It's 20-6. They're moving down towards looking at a score here, and this is a huge play here by Cepha to get the big sack on this one. Let's look at this one.
Yeah, so, I mean, even you watch it right there, we don't necessarily want him to dip inside of that back because he gives that quarterback a lane outside. But, I mean, he's so quick that he just chases that guy back down and, his size allows him to dive out there and make the play. But that's the motor I'm talking about. Those are the things you can't teach. Most people when they go inside and they see that quarterback start to run out there, it's kind of just like, dang, I'm not going to catch him. He's fast. But Cepha doesn't. I mean, there's nothing out there he doesn't think he can do. So once he gets by that back and just starts chasing, as soon as that quarterback hesitates, Cepha's right there. So, he just does a good job of chasing him down, getting him to the ground, and then just making him play from behind the chains.
Well, you mentioned this before that he hasn't played a lot of football. So some of those little moments where you want something different to happen, but just like that's raw speed. And you talked about how fast that quarterback is. He chased that kid down on that play.
Oh, yeah.
The kind of just raw talent that he exudes is absolutely unbelievable. We're going to look at one more sack here from him. This is in the second half. Kind of taking control of this game a little bit, but a big moment on this one as well.
Yeah. So, he just really beats the guy off the ball.
Quick off the ball he is.
That's the thing. He has so much speed off the ball. And, we're slowly teaching him on how to get there because, I think that guy's pretty lucky. Cepha kind of pulled up a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
But, the biggest thing is you look after the sack. look at the energy the defense brings.
Yeah.
He gets up and he's happy, and you see everybody just, fired up for him. And I think that's really one of the few times that you see all 11 or maybe 8, 9 out of the 11 guys all celebrating and getting hyped because we made a play. And, that's what you need on defense. Defense is about being selfless and, leaning on each other to make plays. And I think seeing that is just huge because, he brings that sense of team to the defense and, every defense needs a leader. And, if people are following his lead and he's playing fast and he's not taking plays off and he's making big plays, then shoot, all 10 other guys are going to start doing that too, and we're going to be pretty dang good on defense.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to look at the defense to start this thing off. Obviously, he played a huge role in it, but anytime you score twice defensively, you're going to win a lot of those games. So the first one we're going to look at from the full defensive perspective here is Tink Sellers' interception. This is the first play after he threw an interception of his own. A red zone pick is not what you want to do. Obviously, it's not where we wanted to be. It's not what we wanted to happen. But the response here, the growth that we've talked about so many times from this kid from year over year, to keep his head up, not let things kind of get away from him, and he makes play and takes this one back for 6 and completely flips what I felt like was the feel of the game at that point.
Yeah, and this was a big game for Tink. He knows a lot of guys on that Schroeder side, and he's friends with a lot of guys on that Schroeder side. So, you could see kind of the mental aspect of the game this year for him. I think last year, he was disappointed in himself a little bit about how he played. But I think, this week you saw the focus that he wanted to get the job done. And I mean, you talk about the growth and everything with him. You know, in the past, he makes a mistake like that, throwing the pick, it would probably spiral into, you know, defense and him making a few more mistakes on defense. But I mean, he makes a heck of a play right there. You know, he sees the receiver going underneath, he sticks with him, he cuts underneath and makes the play. And then after that, he's just an athlete and he gets in the end zone. So, you know, I can't ask for more from him. I mean, you see how he's playing defensively, you see how he's playing offensively, you see how he's returning the ball. I mean, he's firing at probably the highest level he's ever fired before. And I mean, when he's on and he's doing the things he's doing, I mean, we're really, really tough to stop.
Yeah, you have a guy that's on the field literally pretty much every single play throughout the course of a game. Some mistakes are going to happen. And, you know, like we've said over and over again, sometimes those mistakes had a tendency to spiral in years past. He didn't play perfect in this game, right? We know that. But the ability to do what you need to do to get the job done and to make the plays when you need to make them in big moments are honestly, this team's going to go. There's a ton of other guys we can and will talk about through the course of this year, but this team's going to go with number 2 out there.
Yeah.
Next play we're going to look at is another guy who I think this is the first time we've talked about him this year, but making a play out there defensively. Titus Sayers is going to get a pick here. This is a pretty key moment in this game. Honestly, if they go down and score, we've got a football game on our hands here, and a nice play here from Titus.
Well, and that's, I think, throughout the first 2 weeks watching Titus on defense, I mean, he's always in the right spot.
Yeah.
And I think not playing on Friday nights a whole lot, you know, he's still adjusting to the game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you see now he's starting to make those plays. I mean, he had a ball earlier in the game he probably should have picked off, and then I think there was another one on the far sideline that he probably should have picked off as well. But, you know, him just being in the right spot, you're going to make plays.
Right.
And I thought he had a few times in the Belmont game too where he's right there in the right spot, and maybe it was just a half second too slow. But as he starts getting more reps and as he starts playing more, I mean, he's going to adjust to the game like you see right there. So, I mean, we got a bunch of guys in the back half that can make plays, and Titus is just one of them. I mean, he might not stick out always, but, you know, having someone that you know is going to be in the right spot and knows what they're doing and can get everybody else right is huge. So, I mean, I think Titus has an underrated impact on the defense from the outside, but all of us on the inside know how important he is to the function of the back half.
Well, and I think a big thing here is, you know, again, we're going to talk about a bunch of these guys over and over, week over week, but finding those different players who are going to make the plays that you need to make in big moments. We're going to see more passing teams, not less, through the rest of this year. That secondary is going to have to be shored up. It's going to have to perform. It's going to have to make big plays because, frankly, teams are going to throw the ball on us, and we're going to give up some yards. Not just us. I mean, these are great passing teams. Indian Hill, Madeira throws the ball a lot. Taylor throws the ball a lot. All of these guys that they know what they're doing. This is their offense. This is the way they play. We're going to have to find ways to make big plays and get things done. So I'm going to jump into a third guy defensively as we get through the defensive backs. One that we're going to talk about him on offense too today, but we're going to look at Taj Ingram's touchdown pick 6 here as well.
Yeah, and
me through this.
I mean, I think Taj might be the MVP of the game on both sides of the ball. I mean, earlier in the game, he almost had one on a similar play where he drove it. You know, Taj plays so nonchalant sometimes where, you know, you just see him walking around sometimes and just kind of, you don't really realize what he can do. But then it's plays like this where he sees the route, he reads the route, and, I mean, he knows what's coming. And as soon as he sees that quarterback start to throw it, he breaks on it. And I mean, if Taj gets his hand on the ball and there's nobody in front of him, he's gone. And I think that's one of the things you don't realize is, one, how good of a football player he actually is for not having played since 8th grade. But I think the other thing is you don't realize how smart he is on the field. And I think as we continue to progress through the season, you know, you're going to see more and more about Taj. And I think people are going to realize how good he actually is and how much or how big he is to how we function as a team. And I think, you know, him playing that safety and rolling down the box and making plays, I think he's just going to have a huge impact for us moving forward.
For sure. just kind of overarching defensive stats in this game, like we talked about, the turnovers were obviously huge. 5 total sacks. Cepha with 3 of them on his own. Caden Lewis and Waters both had sacks each. 6 total pass deflections in this game, which is worth talking about. Antonio White with 3 of them. Guys getting after up front is, again, as we talk about these passing offenses that we're going to face coming up over the next couple of weeks here, a couple of months as we go along. It's going to take everyone.
Oh yeah, and I mean, a lot of these guys are just getting thrown into the fire, and they're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is right now they're just getting a lot of key reps before we face those teams that are going to throw the ball 25, 30 times a game in the CHL. So, I mean, they're slowly coming along, but by the time we reach those teams, I think they're going to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, let's talk about the offense a little bit here because, there were some great things that were done in this game, and it starts with the second drive of the game, actually, for the offensive side of the ball. Tink's going to take this first play here. This one happened lightning fast. We got the ball back on the punt, and first play, if you weren't paying attention, you weren't ready, this one jumped out at you real quick. What happened on this one?
Well, so we didn't block it very well up front. That doesn't make me too happy. But so we knew we could probably get to the edge. We're seeing a defense that we don't usually see. They're playing about 8 guys in the box. So, I mean, that means there's 3 over the top. So it's tough to really get a whole lot of things going. So we were trying to secure that edge and get out. Didn't block it very well, like I said. But, when you have an athlete back there and he can just make people miss and he's that quick. I mean, look at the burst as soon as he finds that hole. I mean, if you give him a little bit of daylight like that, I mean, he's off. And, I mean, his strides are so long and I don't think people realize how quick he actually is. That, I mean, if he gets a little bit of daylight, he's gone. I think that's just what makes us so dynamic, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But week 1, it's Morgan doing everything.
Right.
This week they come out and try to take him away, so it's Taj. At some point, it's gonna be like, who do you let?
Who do we decide to go?
Who do you let take over the game? I mean, you could let Tink take the game over and try to take away Taj. You could try to take away Tink and Taj and let Morgan take the game over. You could try to take away our outside game and take Tink and Morgan and then let Taj go. I mean, Taj had 20 carries for 125 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that's the thing we haven't necessarily had the past few years is that, I mean, we have 6, 7 guys that I think could hurt anybody on a given night. And I think that's just a really good problem for us to have. And it's just, we just got to keep everybody on the same page and moving forward just because they got to realize, one night it might not be you, but then next week, it could be you getting the ball. So I think that's just a sign of a good offense. And, by the end of the game, we got there where everyone was on board. But, at times you just got to be okay with it. And I think, you see plays like that from Tink, that's only going to open everything else up for Morgan, Caden, Taj, Coop, Murph, those other guys. I mean, that's just a heck of a play, and that's just an athlete being an athlete.
For sure. We're going to jump into what I think was the most important drive of this game.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Taj, 123 yards rushing in this game, 20 carries. He was an absolute workhorse for you throughout this game. But in this case, we're going to look at 3 plays in a row and actually 4 plays total on this drive because I thought this is where he kind of inserted his will. He basically said, hey, I'm taking this thing over. We'd just gotten a turnover. Gotten the ball back, but it's 20-14, close game, 2 minutes left. You really need a drive where something good happens, where you can kind of extend this lead before halftime because they're getting the ball at the start of the second half as well. So Taj just takes over. These 3 plays happen right in a row. Talk me through these.
Yeah, and, I hope coaches don't start watching the show because I told you last week I wouldn't be surprised if Taj ran for 150, 200 yards. And, I mean, this is just what we see every day in practice, and it's when he gets his opportunity, he makes the most of it. I mean, he hits the hole hard. He has great vision. His cuts are incredible, and he runs hard. So, I mean, he's going to get 4 or 5 yards every carry just based off how hard he runs. But he does a good job of hitting that hole where he's supposed to and then cutting right back off of it. And this is when we kind of figured out what we could do and, where we're going to be able to run the ball. And as we did that, I mean, Taj just started wearing him down. And I think Taj is similar to that Derrick Henry effect is, as the game goes on, he starts running harder and better and better and better, which is, I mean, a really good quality to have in our running back, especially in this offense.
This next play right here, the one we're watching as it's happening, he's just carrying dudes again.
Yeah.
And we've seen this happen a couple of times in this game and last game. Him just kind of dragging people to the finish line here. And huge run. And then he closes it out with this next one, which is kind of the biggest one that we've got here. We'll take a look at this one.
And I mean, I think what you're seeing is what I talked about earlier, just having that physicality and having that edge. I mean, it gets to a point where people don't want to tackle him because he runs so hard. But, I mean, you even look up front, and we got our offensive line just moving bodies and burying people. And I think, I went back and watched the film after the game on Friday. I mean, look at that double team right there. I mean, really all that play does is we just take everybody down, and you see the left side of our line just collapse everybody. And that was the first thing I sent to our coaches after I watched the game. I was like, dang, man, I really didn't realize our offensive line mauled them in the second half. And this is the end of the first half.
Yeah.
But, I mean, from when we figured out what we needed to do till the end of the game, I mean, our offensive line was just moving bodies. And that just opened everything else up for Taj. And you'll see later it opened stuff up for Tink. And, I mean, that's just so big for us. Because, I mean, when they have those huge holes to run through, they have two-way goes. I mean, our backs are dangerous. I mean, anyone you give the ball in space, they're going to make a play. And I think you just saw that right there.
Yeah, and that's perfect to set up this last play from that drive that we're going to watch. This is a 2-yard run. It's nothing special from a perspective of what happened, but it is special in what happened.
Yeah.
And so as you watch this play here, the entire defense dives down on Taj thinking this is another run up the gut. They're tired. They're worn out. This was like a 13-play drive, and Tink just walks this one in.
Yeah, and I think that's just the nature of our offense is, it was dive, 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 and Tink's at that point now where he's just reading it so well. So as soon as he sees those edges just fly down to take away the dive, because I think, it's just been the thing that we've killed him with the past 3-4 plays, he pulls in, he walks right in. And I think he's at a level he hasn't been at reading it, how he's reading it. Are there things he could do better in the option? Yes. But, I think those are the things you have to bring along as you go. Because right now, as a whole, he has it really working. But then now it's, can you hone in on those little things? So what do you do after you give the ball? If you pull the ball and you got to get it out, making sure your pitches are right. So I think just all in all, I think everything's really clicking right now for him. And just adding the element of that run game with Taj, I think just opens so much up for us.
Yeah, and then the last I guess we got 2 more plays to look at, but the last run that I want to look at is this last touchdown from Sellers to kind of ice this game. And what we were talking about on this play here. This is where we've worn them down so much.
Yeah.
We've leaned on them offensively, and this is exactly what you're looking for in the option right here.
Yeah, and we were over there talking about taking the clock, and there's just times when something's going to happen, and I knew he was going to score. Yeah. He was looking at me, and I knew. As soon as I called the play, I knew what it was going to be. I mean, there's just times where I know he's going to pull it and get out, and that's what he did. And, I mean, that's a good block up top.
Yep.
Handles him long enough for Tink to get that edge, and if Tink gets the edge, I trust him to outrun probably 95 to 96% of people we see on a field. But that's just him being an athlete and making plays. And if he keeps progressing and running the offense like he's running it right now, I mean, we're going to be real tough to beat.
No doubt about it. Last one we're going to look at here. This one is in the first half. I wanted to save this play for last because I just think there's a couple of reasons. We're going to get into our student athletes of the week here in a little bit. Spoiler alert. But 2, this play is as highlight reel as it gets. We didn't pass the ball for a ton of yards in this game, but this is another one of those things on film that, man, you just love to see.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the biggest thing is we knew where Morgan motioned, they were going to move.
Yeah.
So Morgan motions across the formation. We know the safety is going to leave, so that gives Caden a big one-on-one matchup. And I trust him every single time we're out there. I mean, he's a big physical kid that I think he's more athletic than people give him credit for. And we had just ran this play a few plays earlier to CJ. I think he picked up about 30 or something yards on it. So, we come back to it, but give him a different look to run it. We had just called a timeout to play. They had just called a timeout to play before because we were going a little tempo. And, Caden's over there, hey, let's go back to it. Hey, let's go back to it. And, he's a junior captain. I trust him enough to, if he thinks he can make the play, I'll let him have the shot. I think it's a low risk throw
Yeah.
But a high reward play, and you see right there, I mean, you give one of our better athletes a chance to make a play, and I mean, Caden delivers. And that's a heck of a catch. I mean, the hand-eye control, tipping it up to yourself, getting it. I mean, that's just a huge play, and that's one that gets everybody going. And,
yes.
And I think that's an underestimated part of our offense is that we do have options outside of the three guys in the backfield that really haven't shown yet. I mean, we really haven't had to put together much of a passing game yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, Caden's a kid that I really trust, and I think there's a lot of things we can do with him. You know, in practice, we're working on ways to get him the ball and do things, but we just haven't had to put him out there yet because we just haven't had to show him. So, I mean, he's going to be a huge part for us, and I'm not just saying that because he's making plays like this.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because I know. Like, I see it every day. But I'm really excited for what he can do. I'm really excited. He's loving playing football. I'm really excited. You know, he's all the way bought in, and I just can't wait to see what he does for the rest of this year and into his senior season next year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into our weekly segment here. It's time for our Deer Park Student Athletes of the Week.
Yes, sir.
Always love recognizing these athletes who we've got making plays on the field, off the field, whatever it happens to mean week over week. So let's jump right into it. For the girls' soccer team, we're recognizing Eden Sibilia today. She had a hat trick, 2 assists last week, and Coach mentioned true leader on and off the field. Hat trick in any game, obviously.
That's big.
Big time thing. So looking at the boys' soccer team, we've got Chris Hill showing outstanding sportsmanship this week. Said he had a great week of play as well this week. Mm-hmm. We're also going to look from our cross-country side at Colton Moore Bransky. He's a freshman. This kid's an athlete. I've seen him play a couple of things, and he's excelling in both soccer and cross country. Had 2 strong finishes in races this week. So for the cross country squad, Colton's who we're recognizing. Cheerleading side of things, Lucy Herringer leading the squad with energy, precision, and game awareness every Friday night. It was great to see the squad at a home game. The atmosphere was fantastic, and I think we keep winning some games, and it's going to keep getting better and better every single week. So that's going to bring us to our last 2 recognitions. The first one, no surprise here, it's going to be Caden Lewis on the football team. So I want you to go ahead and talk about Caden. You know, you mentioned him just quite a bit there, but not just what he brings on the field for you, but off the field as well.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing about Caden is, I mean, he's playing soccer at a high level and he's playing football at a high level. And what I don't think a lot of people see is, I mean, days that he plays soccer games, he still comes out to football practice. He might not practice, but he's still around everybody. You know, he's by his position groups. So, I mean, he's so locked in mentally and everything. And, I mean, he's playing 3-4 games a week, practicing every single day. Then he goes and supports all the other students at, you know, volleyball games, girls soccer games, and he has high grades in the classroom. So, I mean, this kid doesn't stop, and he's just doing so well in every single area. And I think that's just huge because, you know, when people see that and they see, you know, him going to soccer practice and then right after soccer practice, I mean, Monday I brought his pads out to the field because he went to soccer practice and put his pads on and came out to football practice. And it's not like we're asking him to do it. He wants to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, you know, that's what a leader does. They don't care, you know, how tired they are or, you know, what they're going through. They would just want to be as successful and make the people as successful around them as they can be. And I think he really embodies that.
Yeah, for sure. When we talk 2 sport athletes or 3 sport athletes in high school, usually we're talking about guys that are playing different seasons and how hard they work. The just endurance.
Yeah.
Or if it's a 2 sport athlete that's soccer and football, it's usually a kicker. And by the way, he's doing that too. So really just impressive about what he's doing. And then I'm going to give you the floor to talk about the last person as well. It's a volleyball player, and by the way, his sister, Cammie Lewis. Cammie had a great week in volleyball this week, 17 kills in 3 matches. The coach said steady leadership and preparation for her. But she does a little more as well, and I think it's worth talking about. So I'm gonna cede the floor to you for this one as well.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the other big things people don't know is we have, I think, 7 girls that work for us. Camille was really the first one that came on. 2 years ago, she started as my assistant. they all work through a company called Harbor, and right now we're kind of at an issue. I don't know how else to describe it, but they've been working for us since the first day we started in May.
Yeah.
And I mean, these girls do so much for us. Like, I mean, there's days where we go out there, water's already set up. They're filling up water bottles. They're bringing them around. I mean, they're helping out guys before the game, taping, all that. I mean, they just make the process go. And without any of the girls, Camille, Abby, Grace, Megan, Riley, Bree, without any of these girls, I mean, the operation that I'm trying to run and what's being so successful, it's not going to happen. And I mean, the fact that Harbor is saying that we got to go in 8-week cycles now, starting back on Monday, and that once the 8 weeks hit, the girls are out and we got to bring new. It's not functional for me. It's not functional for the football team and a lot of the programs. I mean, there's even programs that they're doing over the summer within the school, but it's just to think that we can train people to be at the level that they're functioning at and to be as productive as they are. It's unrealistic. And I mean, I don't know if anyone out there knows anyone that works at Harbor, knows anyone that knows anybody that works at Harbor, but show them this. It is what it is. I don't care. I need all 7 of those girls to keep everything going. And I just don't think people realize the impact that they have. I mean, we bring in these girls that are playing volleyball and they support us. Our guys go and support them. So, I mean, they just fall into that athlete thing that we say too. I mean, it's surrounding everybody with good people that want to be there. And I mean, they just add to the culture. They're not out there in pads on Friday night, but they're on the sideline in their gear. They're a part of the operation. Sure. And I need them. Alex needs them. The boys need them around just for us to be as successful as we are. So anybody out there related to Harbor that sees this, please don't cut them. Keep them past the 8 weeks. If you need to call me, I'll give somebody my cell phone number. I'm not going to put it out here, but give me a call. I'll talk to you. We need these girls. We love having these girls. That's my thing on Harbor. Thank you.
All right. First of all, congratulations to all of our student athletes of the week. I love doing this every week because these kids are best of the best, and we've got awesome people in every sport.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. Is not. I mean, I don't know. Not all these people get the recognition they need.
For sure.
So I think just even these little spurts here and there about what everybody's doing is huge.
For sure.
Because I mean, everybody deserves it.
Absolutely. All right, let's look to next week real quick here, Coach. Norwood on the road. Norwood comes in 0-2. They've had a tough run of it to start here, but you're going to their place. What challenges do they bring you? What's the focus for you guys this week to head into conference play 3-0?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to be fired up. It's homecoming for them over there. And we know that. So we know that, from that first kickoff to the end of the game, they're going to be fired up. I know Coach Money over there, and honestly, he's probably been one of the nicest coaches to me since I started last year. I mean, we text throughout the year. We talk back and forth. He checks in on me about how I'm doing, how the guys are doing, how the culture is progressing. And it's good to have people like that in your corner. He's inviting our guys to the MVC Combine over at CHCA in the spring. So he's doing a whole lot because I think he realizes that we're kind of in similar situations.
Yep.
But I mean, he's got those kids playing a lot harder than they've played in the past. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, they're big up front. They're physical. Yeah. They got some skill guys that if you give them an inch, I mean, they can fly. And that's the biggest thing is, really honing in on taking care of our assignments and keeping the focus on Norwood is what we've been preaching this week. It doesn't matter who we play down the road. It doesn't matter what we've done because the only thing that matters is week 3 right now, going over to Norwood and playing our game. And I think that's the thing is I talked about it at the beginning. It's really only about us. If we only worry about the people around us, the coaches in the locker room, everybody that's related to the football team, I mean, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter about what people are saying outside. It doesn't matter what people are telling you. If people are telling you, man, you guys are playing these teams, oh, you guys suck. It doesn't matter. I mean, what matters is, the guys who you go out to practice with Monday through Thursday, the guys that get on the bus with you on Friday, and the guys you do it all over again with the next week. So I think that's the biggest thing is just honing into that camaraderie, that team aspect, and really just focusing on what we do and taking care of business.
All right. Well, Friday night kickoff at Norwood, 7 p.m. We hope to see you out at that game, cheering on the Wildcats. As always, you can catch the Deer Park Coaches Show Thursday nights, 6 p.m., YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, wherever you watch, we will be there 6 p.m. every Thursday night. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Deer Park Coaches Show. He's Tucker Berger. I'm Jake Snyder, and we will see you all on Friday night.